trying to avoid holiday weight gain.
People gain 5 to 10 pounds during the holidays. That's not true. The number is anywhere from a half a pound to a pound and a half. But guess what? The average person doesn't lose it the next year.
People will find a reason to eat and drink every week during the holidays.
Take protein only all the way up to the big day. And then you can just pound the groceries at night. If you're wearing it, you ate it. Probably half of the holiday weight gain is probably coming from alcohol.
All right, welcome back for another episode of Suppies. Today, we're going to be talking about surviving the holidays, okay? So, trying to avoid holiday weight gain, whether you're somebody that is trying to continually lose weight through the holidays, or you're somebody that doesn't want the holiday weight gain that we hear so often. Nutrition and fitness expert Neal Spruce is going to give us some tips and tricks on how to achieve your goals in that department. Okay, so start off with, why do the holidays lead to weight gain for most people?
Well, that's, I think, one of those questions anybody individually can answer, right? I mean, you got to go to people's houses, you got to eat, you got to drink, you're partying, you're doing all those type of things, so, you're not going to be that person that goes, I can't have that. I can only have chicken and broccoli. You're that person that's going to, you're going to participate because you need to, you need to own that whole thing and that little experience, because food and partying are a social piece of what we do in our culture. So, so generally you're going to end up eating more calories in those 2 months, whatever you want to call them, right? 2.5 months, than you would normally. And whether you move more or not, let's say you move exactly the same, you're going to gain maybe a pound or so more than you normally would, during that period. There's some, and you'll probably ask that question, but there's some rumors, not rumors, but there's some bad information out there about how much people gain during
Right. So, we can answer that right now. What is the average amount of weight people gain during the holidays?
Yeah. And I even did this back in the 70s when I first started lecturing. 70s? 76, 78. I probably first started lecturing, and I was in my 20s. Okay. But I would even, because I fell in that same trap of sort of loose information. So here we go, people gain 5 to 10 pounds during the holidays. Well, okay, so I would say that all the way up until I saw the first studies back in the 80s, by the way, in the late 80s, I realized that's not true. Not only I realized it from just people around me, just that, sort of intuitively you realize that's probably not happening. Because there's one thing, I want everybody to get this. I want everyone to write this down. The human structure is really amazing on how many calories you take in and how many calories you burn. Think about the average weight gain for a human being. I'm not talking about morbid obesity or people that gain, there's a genetic defect there. I'm talking about the average person might gain 1, maybe 1.5 to 2 pounds a year. That's amazing. They're not counting their calories, the average person. They're just going through life. So your body's counting the calories. So we have an incredibly efficient energy expenditure, energy intake system when you think about that for a minute, right? Yeah. That the fact that that's all you gain, because otherwise, people would eat and just keep gaining weight. So the body just kind of takes care of itself. But during the holidays, so your average person is gaining a pound a year. Now you're in the holidays, now you're going to jump that a pound to a pound and a half extra. So the number is anywhere from a half a pound to a pound and a half is the average weight gain during those months. Now, but guess what? The average person doesn't lose it the next year.
Right.
So that's on top of the regular weight gain that the average person gains. So I just want to make that comment out there.
So during the holidays, on average, you gain how much weight?
About a pound extra beyond what you would normally gain throughout the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
maybe half a pound to 1.2, I think, is the actual study number.
Right. So that is, when you think about it, and if you know anything about losing weight, that's pretty insignificant, I would say.
Exactly.
But like you said, most people don't do anything to counteract that.
100%. And then it just adds to the normal 1 pound they would have gained.
Yeah.
On the other one. So now you're 2.5 and you never lose it going forward.
Yeah.
The average person.
Right. The average person. So with that being said,
mm-hmm.
Well, let's also talk about what else other contributing factors that can lead to weight gain in the holidays, which is what I notice a lot being a gym owner, a jiu-jitsu academy, which is what a lot of people use as their exercise.
Right.
So the shift in the time change, so daylight savings or whatnot, I can directly correlate that to a drop off in attendance, which is so like the weather, it being colder out, even though we're in Southern California, I feel like they don't have an excuse to really do that. When it's 60 degrees, people complain about it being cold, but so how the weather has an impact, and daylight savings, where it's basically dark by the time people get off work and they don't want to do anything after. Like that's got to play some sort of contributing factor of people not just eating more calories, but also seemingly moving less too, because they've taken out their exercise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just said it all, right? I mean, at the end of the day, they are moving less. They're indoors more. They're not taking walks, in the park at 80-degree temperature or any of those kind of things. So regardless of where you are. However, there's also some science about just, people in the northern latitudes, they gain weight during the winter. Just they didn't gain fat because from a survival standpoint, you need a little extra fat during the winter because you might not find food. Well, guess what? We can find food anywhere now. Yeah. But that's a survival thing. So there's some evidence about that as well. Yeah, so you do. Yeah, it does. I mean, there's no question about it that the winter changes a lot of things.
The psychological
right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean,
it's crazy. I mean, like literally the second the daylight savings happens, 50% decrease in attendance.
And without a doubt, I mean, I used to always thought it was because I'm just one of these guys that I don't even come close to any kind of, I don't even know what depression means in a human. I certainly respect it, and I know that it happens. But for me, I'm like, as you know, I'm the most optimistic guy in the world, and I'm just happy all the time about stuff. But I will tell you that what I have learned over the years now is how, the lack of sun affects you. We call it affective disorder, for depression and so forth. And it is because it does changes. I mean, physiologically. So it's not like an imaginary thing.
Right.
It actually happens where your body just kind of changes things when you're not getting sunlight on a regular basis.
I'm not saying it has anything to do with depression because that's no correlation to Southern California. There's no shortage of that.
Right.
But I'm just saying the fact that it gets people lazy, like you get off work and it's dark. You just want to go home now. So it's just
agreed. Yeah.
It's just crazy that drop off. It's like literally immediate that 50% of people stop attending. It's every year too now. So that's my little addition to this.
But on the other side it's the people that are addicted to fitness. I don't, it doesn't matter how dark it is, what time it is, how much there's no lights on in the gym, but you're still going to go try to work out.
The discipline.
But that's the small percentage.
That's the discipline. Yeah. So, I mean, when you say 1 pound, I'm somebody during people gain 1 pound of extra weight during the holidays. I'm somebody that continually diets. So when I think holiday weight gain is a serious thing because I am going completely out of my norm because I eat a pretty disciplined diet to where because I'm someone that fluctuates 10 pounds easily. So I'm hitting that 10-pound threshold during the holidays. What is that? Is that water retention, or is it, because I'm obviously not putting 10 pounds of fat on.
No, so, I would argue you're putting close to that. You're probably putting 5, 6, 7 pounds. The rest of it's just the fluid that goes along with eating shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going on there. Listen, the reason you can do it and it doesn't affect you in any way. And by the way, you are the minority that would gain that much, but you're like how the stories all started back in the old days. Everybody gains 5 or 10 pounds here and there. But you know why? Because you know you can fix it tomorrow. Right. Because you have to. Because you make a living with your body. Yeah. Right? So it's like, it's the motivation so that's why even I will gain. I don't weigh myself like I used to. I used to weigh myself regularly. Obviously, as an athlete, you had to. But, I mean, I would do that for a long time. I would weigh myself daily because I would have to pay the piper in the morning. And of course, I don't take the daily weight. I just take the weekly average, and that whole thing. But I will tell you that I know that I probably gained at least 5 pounds during the holidays. Because why? I have one litmus test, and that is when I take my shirt off as I go to the shower. If I can't see my abs, I have to drop down the calories. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
It's that easy. I don't need to measure myself. Don't need to weigh myself. There's a picture right there that I see, and that's all I got to see. If I can see a little lines there and stuff. Now, they're blurry after the holidays. They're a little blurry, right? But I just bring them right back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I also know how to, cheat during the holidays. That's the other part.
Right. So we'll get to that,
Yeah,
your little tricks. The holiday weight gain, is it actually body fat or mostly water and glycogen for most people?
It's both. I mean, it's without a doubt. It's going to end up being fat. The calories will eventually, if you're not going to work them off, they're going to finally, whether it's glycogen, there's no calories in water, obviously. There's obviously, water retention is just from like all the chemicals you're taking in. Your body's trying to get the electrolytes even on both sides of the cells. So there's a little swelling that goes on the cells. That's going to be taken care of when you start going back to a clean diet. Okay. Yeah. And that's how you'll lose whatever on that. But without a doubt, you gain some fat. Because don't forget, if you eat 1,000 calories more, every other day or something, you're going to be a pound or two heavier after a while. I mean, it just happens. It's just the math is pretty simple.
All right. So let's get
more
into
than you burn.
Yeah.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
Let's get into how we can approach these big meals that we're going to be consuming, whether it's, it's just people will find a reason to eat and drink every week. It feels like during the holidays. So,
I can find it every month. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday.
Right.
I just have
but
to.
Everyone's got people they got to go see and attend to.
That's right.
You got it with your friends, your family, and your extended
and
family.
You want to fit in.
Yeah, exactly. So, if someone knows they're going to have a big meal later, how should they eat earlier in the day?
Just less. And that's the whole thing. I say, it's so easy to make that up. And I'm not talking about necessarily skipping a meals completely. Just make the meals like I do. As you've seen how we did this as bodybuilders back in the day. We would just dump amino acids. Just get our protein. Get our proteins with the least amount of calories, which is just drinking straight amino acids, essential amino acids. And then you could then you do that 2 times during the day. It's like do that during call it a fasting window. And then you can just pound the groceries at night. You can have all 3,000 calories at night. Back in the day when I was a giant, 6,000 calories. And that's how many calories it took me to maintain my muscle and weight. So you can do that. You can do it that way. So it's easy. I would just sip things that had extreme low calories during the day. And we do that. We tell people now with, like in our, in our health clubs and so forth, we actually give them these menus of, hey, take 2 shakes a day, protein shakes a day, along with some fruit, that's in there. So you got fiber and protein.
Yeah.
2 of them, 500 calories total. Now go eat 2,000 calories at dinner.
And you're good.
And you're good to go. I mean, that's always one of the magic things that we would do. And people just go, that's the greatest advice I ever got.
I do that too. So.
Yeah.
Or like, whatever, a straight protein meals, like in the morning.
And there's some, you're satiated more that way too, especially throw some fiber in it, throw some, fruit in it.
So, what's the smartest way to build a holiday plate? If you did that, you don't need to really worry.
The smartest way, don't forget, let's say you haven't saved up for your calories and you're just eating regularly and everything else, load it with, if you can, load it with protein and fiber. I mean, that's the first thing you want to eat because that way you're satiated before you go and do the best you can to eat slowly. The faster you eat, the longer, the more pushed out your satiety or your fullness is going to be because it can't catch up with how fast you're eating. You're still hungry. Oh, you just keep eating. You're still hungry, still eating. So if you can go slow, that'll help as well. But otherwise, that's the smartest way to do it. Okay.
Is there any way to control appetite for holiday meals?
Well, yeah, there are. Obviously, we already know the drugs, the GLP-1s, will wipe out your appetite for anything. So I'm not going there at this point. I'm just telling you. We have some. We have some things that we use. We use thermogenics, and there's also some what we call appetite suppressants, like an African mango. We have Carmelita fibreata. These are little these are extracts from succulents that hunters from ancient times in Africa and India used to use to cut their appetite. So when they're on hunts, because don't forget, these people wouldn't eat for days and days, and they're on hunts, they would use this and eat these extracts, or they would eat the part of the succulent, and that would cut their appetite so they wouldn't eat their arm. So I mean, there's some things. So we've captured those things, and we use those to help cut appetite during those times. But again, the best way to do it is just again, like using some sort of a protein shake before you get there with fiber, because fiber is a great way to cut appetite, which is what those things I just mentioned are. Fiber, or really fiber, extracts of fiber.
Yeah.
Carluma.
So, I mean, when you're in the holidays, right, you have, like you mentioned some of the social pressure that comes along with, like, family events and parties and whatnot. What is the best way to navigate that if you're somebody that is maybe focused on not gaining weight during the holidays?
Okay, so and again, I experienced this for 18 years of competition. Everybody, although I social events, people were always supporting me. They would never try to get me to be part of it. But I would fit in by having my when everybody else is drinking alcohol, I'm drinking a lime and soda. So it looks like a vodka and soda or something, which is a lime and soda. I'm doing that because I was motivated. Nothing's going to take me off my track as an athlete. Right? Nothing. There's nothing could separate me from my track. That's motivation. So that's different. But if you're someone that wants to just fit in, but yet then, there's all kinds of things you can do. You can drink very low calorie alcohol, or like I said, a lime and soda. You can just pick the foods that are the ones that are lowest calorie when you're sitting there and you're fitting in with everybody. You don't have to do, you can just pick the vegetables and pick the turkey and just take the skin off it. Yeah. And you're good to go. Turkey is extremely low calorie, high protein. And there's plenty of vegetables, in any of these things there. So there's a lot of ways to fit in socially. You can just do what everybody else is doing. No one's watching you to see what it is. What I was doing is separating myself as an athlete out. When I would go to events, people supported me. Yeah. They made sure. They almost tried not to make, make sure.
Maybe it's the pressure of those are things you enjoy and you have to abstain from them because you might have been, think about how many people try to lose weight and there's as they have a trigger event to lose the weight, there's probably a trigger event.
There's a roadblock.
There's a trigger event that makes them relapse, right? And that's just go all the way back 100%. And regain. So,
you're right about that. And those are almost sort of unstoppable. If you're that person, the best thing you can possibly do is eat your regular diet up to that point rather than trying to not eat and save it. Those are the people that they're compromised to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Almost like an addict that can stay away, but then they give in all the way. Yeah. Those are the small percentage of people that you really don't want to not eat during the day and save it up for that one meal because that can take you to a bad place. So I think at the end of time, those are the ones that you should take, like I was talking about. Take your proteins and fiber up to the time you get there. And that's going to be a lot easier to be able to resist, this crazy amount of desserts and all the other things that are there. But if you do, then all you've got to do in your mind is you got to move more the next few days. Move more before you get there, for one thing, but definitely after that. That was one of my big things for people. Hey, if you eat 2,000 calories more than you should, which is pretty easy to do on a Thanksgiving night or whatever, then just move 2,000 calories more the next day. It doesn't take that much to move an extra 2,000 calories. Go shopping, but don't do it online. Go to the mall. Walk around, so.
Yeah, so, you sort of just mentioned this, like, what should people focus on more during the holidays, avoiding overeating or moving more?
I would say moving more. Avoiding overeating, that's just too individual. It's too easy to move more. People don't realize how easy it is to move more. So sitting down like you and I are right now, we're burning a certain amount of calories a minute, right?
Right.
Small number. So standing up and pacing burns 2 times more than that. So if you can just do that, imagine that, right? Or imagine going for a walk here and there, and how many extra calories you can burn. That's how many extra calories you can eat without gaining weight. And that's one of the, as you know, that there's the story about how I got calories put on all the labels on food. It was all about telling people what they're in for. So you can do that. You just, that one of the most important things is to move what you eat. You eat this much, just move a little more. And you don't have to do it all in one day. You take 3 days to move more, to wipe out what you just did, and do whatever you want on that night.
How do you stay consistent with your schedule? Because typically, people are on their diet or they have their diet and they like to work out. How do you do that with all of the chaos?
Well, if you are an athlete with a mission, in other words, you have a goal and you are getting ready for a competition, or you are someone that makes a living with their body, or any of those things, nothing's going to take you off your goal. Nothing. That's simple. I can tell you how many Christmases I went through, how many Thanksgivings I went through. Nothing took me off my goal. And I know it would be the same for you. If you had to fight 4 days after Thanksgiving,
right,
trust me, nothing's going to take you off your goal. So let's eliminate that group of people. Okay. So now ask the question for just the average person.
Yeah, for the average person, how do they stay on their routine of their fitness routine of eating moderately healthy and trying to actively work out?
Eat the way you normally eat is every meal you can. Go to the gym every time you can. Do all of those things just the way you would. But go ahead and relax and give up something for a one event or two events or three events a month, whatever it may be. Yeah. Just don't worry about that. You can always make it up later. And because you are a regular exerciser, you're going to be okay after the first of the year. So go ahead, give in. You really want to enjoy it. But the other thing is also, don't tease yourself. Clean up your environment. Make sure you don't have shit laying around that you're going to pick on, because it's okay to pick on it. So make that sort of clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be more towards the people who are actively trying to lose weight.
Okay.
So that's a tough feat during the holidays.
That's for sure.
So is it realistic to lose weight during the holidays?
Well, of course, it's realistic at any time if you want to pay the price. I think for the average person that's not making a living with their body or have a reason to do it at that particular part of the year, then pick another time. Pick another time. And again, I hate to say this, do it right after New Year's resolution. But New Year's resolution, I mean, no one ever keeps them after about a month.
I mean, what if somebody's needing to lose all this weight and they're down significant weight, down 20 pounds? I mean, is them going off of giving in a little bit into their diet going to derail them?
Well, that's a good question, because on that answer to that is, I would say take a diet break. And what I would do at that particular point, I would probably go 3 days hardcore, like your diet, like you've been doing. And then your fourth day, like we do that with bodybuilding, getting ready for competition, 3 days low, 1 day high. That last 6 weeks, we call them death days, right? And that allows you looking forward to that one big day and make that the day where you're going to the party. So 3 days, just go much lower than you were, and then go to the party. On the other day, you can stay on track. The problem with giving up dieting and just letting it loose in the holidays and, and all the different parties is that you could relapse and go back to gaining weight again when it's all over. Yeah. Because you just go, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm done. So you get to that place where you get to, so I would agree. What you want to do there is take low days. Hey, listen, you got this far. You lost 20 pounds. Frickin' that's awesome. That is so great. So let's see if we can keep the 20 pounds. So keep your regular diet and maybe even go a little lower and move more for 3 days. And then when you go out and socialize, go ahead and do it. But you'll find that at that point, you probably won't eat that much because you're just not used to eating that much from the loss of the weight and everything else. And then you get satiated earlier and then go back to 3 days low again. Or 4 days or whatever, and then come up with your party again the next party. But schedule it out so you're eating lower going into the party, and then go ahead and have the foods that you want. You'll find you won't eat that much. Now, I'm not talking about someone that is chronically obese. In other words, you know what I mean? In other words, those are people that's another world. They need clinical help. They're far beyond any scope of anything we're going to talk about here.
Yeah.
You know, you got to go to a whole nother place there. I'm talking about the average person that gains 1 or 2 pounds a year after they're age 20, 21, and that means they're pretty much obese by the time they're 45 or 50. You know, get it?
Yeah.
So I'm talking about that person. Now they're losing the weight, however they did it, and trying to stay in that caloric environment until the party time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is realistic.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. But you got to know what to do. And the
Discipline.
little tricks we talked about, the meal replacements, you know, for 2 of your meals during that early on, right? Just get your protein and fiber in the morning and then go pound groceries at night. That'll work. You'll find that out.
So those were the adjustments. And then you mentioned the training and all of that. So for the people that are actively trying to lose weight during the holidays, what meal strategies make fat loss easier during all the events?
During the event day only, you're talking about. I mean,
So what are, you kind of mentioned, I guess, earlier, right? The meal strategies to make fat loss easier during during the events. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then just graze on protein and fiber. That's the day of, right? Do that. You'll start feeling a little bit full and all those kind of things. And eat. And if you're going to drink, then drink low-calorie alcohol.
We haven't even thrown
Well, but
that
I'm
in.
saying that's a big part of it. So low-calorie alcohol, you know, would be, you know, which is basically any distilled whiskey or vodka, you know, on the rocks and mix it with a diet soda.
Right. I mean, we're going to get into the alcohol
Okay.
section is
All
what
right.
I'm saying. So we haven't even compounded the damage that you can incur.
Yeah.
So like you were saying, you have that high day. Like, how does somebody lock into that mind frame of not continuing after that day?
Well, that's just motivated on the progress you made so far, and you don't want to wipe it out. So that. There's no other way to think about that. You know that you've got to do it the next day, and whatever motivation got you to lose the 20 pounds in the first place is the one you've got to just lock back into. Write it down. Look at it. One of the things I really like, and this is gonna, you know, there's some people out there that can't do this because it fucks with their mind, and that is weighing yourself every day. Weighing yourself every day. Listen. And we already know by studies already show us that people that do that are successful in losing and maintaining weight. The problem is there are people that get screwed up by it because you could actually gain weight when you took in less calories, and that would just freak people out if they don't understand it's an average. Because fluids change and all these getting menopause, I mean, and then you got, you know, females all have their cycles, and then, you know, you may have eaten a bunch of stuff that retained water one day, but if you weigh yourself every day, it's still going to keep you on target because you got to pay the piper in the morning, and it's up or down. And as long as you understand it's an average over a week, over 2 weeks, over 3 weeks, and you just draw a line like this, it's got to be trending in the right direction. That is one of the most brilliant ways of keeping people on track.
Yeah.
But people are afraid to do it because, God, I don't want to weigh myself. I'll wait till tomorrow and I'll clean up my diet and weigh myself then. Then it's just not going to work. So I'm just saying. So for some people, for many people, it would work as long as you're in control. You know, that's all.
And if you're somebody that just wants to avoid gaining weight now, what's the simplest strategy to?
No, the easiest one is what I do.
What do you do?
I just don't eat much. Just take protein only all the way up to the big day. Pound the groceries that day and walk more the next. It's that simple. And I won't gain anything. I might even lose weight because I ate so few calories during the day, but I got all my protein. At nighttime, I pound the groceries. I might have 3,000, 4,000 calories of food and alcohol, right? And then with the alcohol, maybe even more. And now, then the next day, I get up and I move more because I want to move more.
Right.
I don't feel great, you know.
Work it off.
Yeah.
Like how important is tracking calories during the holidays, or can people maintain without logging?
Well, if you need to track your calories by logging, that's one thing, and you should keep doing it. Don't stop. If you're already doing it, don't stop doing it. I wouldn't start doing it then. You know what tracks your calories? Your body. People lie, numbers don't. And I make sure I always tell everybody that, when I'm working with them, I go, I'll just tell you this. I'll know if you're cheating. I'll know if you're not tracking your calories properly. What I'm saying, your body's going to tell me what happened with your calories. If your body composition changed and you have more body fat now, you ate more calories than you can burn. I don't need a math. I don't need anybody to tell me that. That's just obvious. Everybody knows that answer.
Yeah.
So that's why the weighing every day kind of works, or measuring every day, or the visual, whatever it may be. That's the way we do things. Obviously, as I work with celebrities and all that. They do exactly what you tell them, so they always lose the weight for a body shot on a regular basis. And same thing with athletes. But it's the general population that always has excuses for different things. So you don't have to log your calories. Your body will log them for you. You just got to be aware of the fact that your pants don't fit the same. The number on the scale is going up, and you didn't log your calories. Well, maybe I should cut back on my food intake. Don't even call them calories. It's got to the point where you've got all these people out there that are, compromised from a scientific standpoint about they get turned off on the calorie thing. Calories, not about calories, not about calories. Well, at the end of the day, it's going to be all about calories, but because you're a ball of calories. And if you are now have more calories inside you because you're measured that way, I go, don't call it calories then. Call it something else.
Yeah.
Call it just a measurement of energy. Energy's in muscle. Energy's in your glycogen stores. Energy is in your fat stores. You're this ball of energy that happens to be 200 pounds. And you're 210 now, and you've been eating a lot of food. You've got 10 pounds of extra energy. I don't know where it went. I'll find out by measuring your body composition. Did half of it go to fat, half of it go to muscle? Well, probably most of it went to fat during the holiday. So that's where I just get crazy about people. Don't get caught up in that. If you're wearing it, you ate it. And it's easy to see it. Just don't be in denial. Understand that. So it's easy. You don't have to count your calories. Your body will count them for you.
Yeah.
Just catch it.
And you had mentioned something about to offset things moving more. How active do you think someone needs to be to offset holiday weight?
Yeah, I think the average, surprisingly enough, to you and I, it'll be surprising. The average American takes 4,000 steps a day. I think it is 3 or 4. It's a ridiculous number.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a lot to people. Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Well, 1 mile of walking is like 2,000 steps for an average, let's say for an average person or something like that. Well, I do that before I even get to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. I've already got 1,000 steps in because I stand up and I pace a little bit. Those are all steps. Before, when I go to work at 4 a.m. and at 5:15, I walk down there, and I've just been pacing around, walking. I've already got that, walking up and down the stairs, doing all this stuff before I walk to the gym. And then I go to the gym, you burn those calories, then I go out and I go for a walk, which is 1.5 miles, but through the mountains, so I'm burning more calories than the average person. That's about 2,300 calories. So I'm just saying 2,400 calories. So the simple answer to that, get 10,000 calories during the holiday. 10,000 steps.
You've been saying calories this whole time.
I know. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. 10,000 steps a day during the holidays. Just put that on there. And by the way, your Fitbits out there and all your little Oura, you can just do a challenge with get people in your orbit and say, hey, listen, let's all get a minimum of 10,000 steps a day and let's play that game. Those are the kind of things that can get you through the holidays.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. So 10,000, that's your goal. Get there. Just the holidays, anywhere from 7 to 10,000 steps a day. Get up there.
Is there any? Let's move on to the supplement section. We don't need to go over baseline. You stay on your health supplements. You got your multivitamin, fish oil.
If you're not doing that, there's something wrong with you. You're mentally compromised. Yeah.
I'm talking about specific supplements that we can be taking. You had mentioned them
during
a little
the
bit earlier.
Yeah.
Specific supplements we can be taking for either appetite control or potentially even like blocking some calories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know I never like to mention any sort of specific products, but I personally don't know of anyone outside of the one that you really make, so I will call that one out, which is something I take during the holidays some days. Like when I'm really locked in on my diet and I really am like fearing the fact that I am going to have these days where I'm going to blow off my diet, I do like to take what you have is called Carb Repel.
Yeah.
And so if you can
Fasciola
explain,
vulgaris.
if you can explain what that does.
Yeah. It's nothing more than a natural fiber. It's extracted from a white kidney bean, Fasciola vulgaris. And they gave it to diabetics to blunt their blood sugar originally, right? It works phenomenal. And you can block about 20 to 25% of your carbohydrate intake if you're eating a high carbo diet.
Right,
So in
which
other words,
I do like crazy
right,
when I blow
you're
off
cheating.
my diet.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? I was going to say, if I'm going out, listen, if I'm going out drinking with the guys or something, right? I'm not thirsty. I'm going to drink alcohol, and I'm going to pound all the bar tasties, that are there and all that. So I will always pop two of those things to block it. They'll block, up to 25% of those calories from carbs will be blocked at that particular time. So those things work. They're just a fiber. What they do is they mimic amylase. And so they mimic, they actually, so a carbohydrate comes into your body, an enzyme we produce called amylase, right? Breaks down the carbohydrate and throws it in there. Well, what this does, this blocks amylase from being able to do it. It fills in that whole thing, blocks the amylase. So now what your carbs just go straight down and feed your bacteria. And basically your bacteria down there can now have fun eating all the foods that you didn't absorb, the carbs out there. So that's what it does. It actually is just a blocker of an enzyme that you would naturally, and that's what fiber does.
Yeah.
That's what fiber. So if you could almost do the same thing if you ate about 15 grams of fiber, but you don't want to be in the room with that person because some bad things would happen.
And it also it does make me feel fuller too. When I use it, like I have less. I mean, I'm like sick in the head to where I force myself to eat because I'm like capitalizing on the opportunity I just gave myself. But it does make you like want to stop eating sooner.
It does.
But I'll push that envelope.
Yeah, and that's part of the fiber, and that's what fiber generally does. But this is a strong part of fiber because blocking amylase to a certain extent, it kind of changes even your GLP release, during that because there's a natural hormone that, appetite stuff that this also stimulates. Yeah. Yeah. So it works. Yeah.
So you had mentioned something earlier, like thermogenic blends or something like that. So what would you use? That's a supplement, I'm guessing. So what would you use a thermogenic blend for during the holidays?
Well, first of all, to make you want to move more too, a thermogenic blend is nothing. It's something it's called a stimulant. So so it does two things. One, caffeine, as we know, when you drink caffeine, the calories that you're burning after you have your caffeine, more of the calories are coming from body fat than they are coming from anywhere else. We call that energy partitioning. Green tea does the same thing, not just because of the caffeine, but green tea has what we call EGCG, okay, which is the extract from it. Anyway. And that also partitions where you pull your energy from when you're in a deficit. So between those two things, during your day, you have more fat oxidation going than anything else. That's one. Two, caffeine, as we know, is a stimulant, and it makes you want to move more. It makes you a little more alert, and you're burning more calories anytime you're doing those things. So your spontaneous physical activity is more, so you get a double whammy. One, your metabolism bumped up a little bit, maybe 5, almost 10% in some people when you have a thermogenic blend, a good one. We use yerba mate, and we use EGCG, and we also use caffeine in those things. So you got green tea, you got some other stuff in there as well. And those are the things. Then we use capsaicin, which is another part of sort of changing your metabolism. Capsaicin is that ingredient in your chili beans. You've had hot chilies or hot peppers. Capsaicin is the hot thing in there that makes you sweat. And what that does, it turns on your brown fat, the good fat that actually just burns calories. Doesn't store anything, it just burns calories. And that's the one you eat those things and you get heated. And people that have a high, capsaicin intake, scientists notice these people are leaner than other people because it helps you burn more calories. So that's the perfect thermogenic blend that we were talking about. So we use that in one of our formulas. And then, of course, the idea that it also makes you want to move more. So those are and it cuts appetite. Everybody knows that when you're hungry and if you have a cup of coffee, that will cut your appetite for a little bit. It'll shut it down for maybe an hour. Now, do you make it up later? It really depends on what you're going to do. So there's also an appetite suppressant effect with all that. With thermogenic things, yeah.
Would you say those are like probably the two?
Those are two legitimate ones. The legitimate ones that you should probably have in your pantry. Yeah. When you're.
Oh, and then also actually, you had mentioned the essential amino acids on how you can. Well, what function would an essential amino acid serve you during the holidays?
Well, for 25 grams, for 25 calories, you can get 40 grams of protein basically. Because you can convert them to the essential, you can convert them to non-essentials, and the other foods can be converted. Everything else can have the non-essentials, or they're not all complete. But having that much, like 12 grams, like we have one scoop is 12 grams. So that's basically 40 grams of protein for like 10 calories. It's pretty crazy. So again, that's the idea of using that as a supplement during the holidays. Now listen, I don't want you to stop eating regular food proteins because you can use that. I hate it when people take that literally to a point, well, why don't I just do that rather than eating other proteins? Because other proteins have all the other nutrients in them too. They've got vitamins and minerals, and they've got all types of other stuff in there that you want in there. But this is a way of getting all the protein your body needs with the least. So it's calorically efficient to get protein without having to eat too many protein calories. We call it a caloric efficiency. So therefore, you could eat, let's say, 2 bagels. And if you looked up bagels in a book, how many calories are in bagels, or call Google, it's going to say, well, 2 regular bagels might have 5 grams of protein, let's say, and 400 calories or something. Well, okay. Well, those 5 grams of protein are shit. Yeah. Because it's wheat protein, and it's basically pretty much useless because it doesn't have enough essential amino acids. You took a half a scoop of our amino formula. There's no longer 5 grams of protein, even though it's shit protein. It's now 25 grams of perfect protein.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you can't do that all day because then you're going to miss all the great things that come from all the other foods. But you can do that anytime. One day, anytime you're doing that.
Yeah, we're talking about hacking the system to not gain weight during the holidays.
Exactly.
This is, otherwise that's a supplement to complement your whole food diet.
That's right. Exactly.
Yes. Which we're doing still here, but we're doing it
You guys
probably in an excessive way that you don't need to be doing.
The beauty of supplements, and maybe that's the birth of the sup beast, is it can offset so much shit that's off around us, whether it be ultra-processed food, whether it be alcohol, whether it be smoking. We can offset so much by doing the right things, and we can do it calorically efficiently and be as healthy as we want to be. And again, I'm not saying you can do all that stuff. I'm just saying little bits here and a little bits here. Holiday things, we can easily offset that if you know how to position it perfectly.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
All right. We'll get to the section that everyone kind of wonders about, is potential the double whammy in all of the holidays, which is alcohol consumption. So, how much in your opinion, or if you have a statistic or whatever, how much does alcohol play a factor in holiday weight gain?
I would guess for the average person, it's significant. Probably half of the holiday weight gain is probably coming from alcohol. We know they're useless calories. They make no sense. So in other words, they don't bring any nutrients. The old saying, empty calories. They bring in no nutrition with them. They rob nutrition because your body's got to fire up the enzyme that gets it out of your body, which is alcohol dehydrogenase. That takes all kinds of B vitamins and C and everything else. It's got to fire it up to get rid of that stuff before you builds up in your body and you die. So there's nothing great about it other than the fact that, listen, we all like it. I like it. Monitoring it properly, just, you get into a place where you feel good and it's all good, but, knowing, what you need to do. So it plays a big part in it because alcohol is just part of the holiday season. So people that don't drink much, they may have a little bit, but it's more the people that drink regularly that will drink more during the holidays. Those are the ones that have to be careful. Those are the ones. And I would be that person too. Yeah.
Everyone say aye.
Yeah, yeah. I drink more than you should. I'm just lucky enough to be able to offset it a little bit.
So what are the smartest alcohol choices to make during the holidays?
Yeah, it's always going to be the smartest one is don't drink. Okay, I had to just throw that in there for all the dietitians that work with me and everything else. Okay,
Right.
okay, done. Whew. Okay, not going to happen in my world. So the smartest choices are going to be any of your distilled alcohols, your 80 proof whiskeys, vodka, gin, and that would be the only calories coming in. So I think, somebody look it up, I think it's 80 calories for an ounce and a half of vodka or gin or a whiskey. Okay, somewhere in there. Maybe 100, who knows? I can't remember, 60 to 100. But anyway, the bottom line is, so that's it. Now, if you want a flavor in it, use a diet soda, use some kind of sparkling water or anything with no calories, and that's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, if you want a sweet drink, my favorite thing is the Jack and Diets.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Jack and Diet Coke, Jack and Coke Zero. Ooh,
You can get a buzz with very low calories.
that's basically a Jack and water the way I look at it.
Yeah. And the other ways are, there's a spritzer with non-caloric sparkling stuff that you can make, So there's all kinds of things that you can do, do low calories. Yeah. And by the way,
the straight spirits, basically,
that's
that don't
the
have
lowest
sugar
calorie.
added to it.
If you're looking for a buzz, that's the best way to get a buzz with low
calorically
calories.
efficient,
Yeah. And I drink, as you know, my whiskeys of choice are always going to be 60 to 65 proof. You know what I mean? They're going to be the ones that are. The pure alcohol content, which is 120 proof or whatever. Yeah.
Alcohol is that missing macronutrient because it has how many calories?
7 calories per gram.
7 calories per gram. So
yeah, and carbs only have 4, around there 4. But the problem with that also is this: your alcohol is metabolized like a fat, coenzyme. So it comes into the Krebs cycle and it's metabolized that way. So your body's not going to take any fat; it's going to use that one for energy at that particular point. So it's a double whammy, and it disinhibits your appetite generally. Even though it doesn't make any sense, let's say I just had 1,000. Let's just say I had 1,000 calories in alcohol. Well, if I had 1,000 calories in fiber and protein, I'd be so full I'd be throwing up.
yeah,
Alcohol, I can drink that within an hour or two. Let's just say, I'm probably not an hour or two that much, but I mean, if you mixed it with something else, and then you disinhibits your appetite control. Next thing you know, you're like eating everything. So that's the double whammy.
Yeah.
You're getting the calories and you're eating more because you don't give a shit.
yeah. And what effect does alcohol have on muscle? Any?
It raises the cortisol level in your body, so that anti-catabolic hormone. I'm sorry, the catabolic hormone. Yeah, cortisol. It just raises it there. Yeah, so it'll compromise your ability to synthesize muscle a little bit because you're just trying to fight off everything else. Because alcohol is like a poison. At the end of the day, I mean, again, a little bit's no problem, or for the average person, but it gets to a point in the body where it's poisonous long before anything else would be poisonous.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just trying to make gains and whatnot during the holidays, probably.
Yeah, just limit it. Limit it. Just try to find your once a week party to do it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't definitely, and that's not going to hurt you. You couldn't measure a difference by partying one day a week and pounding the alcohol, unless it affects your workout the next day. Then maybe so you don't want that to happen.
So I mean, if you're gonna drink, is it smart to limit the food intake, or if you're gonna eat a lot, is it smart to limit the alcohol intake? How do you navigate the holidays in that situation?
Well, I'll tell you. Here's the thing. I know this is going to be tough for some people probably to hear. The old saying is that, you drink alcohol on an empty stomach. Okay. And, bad things happen, right? Oh, I had alcohol, I got sick and on an empty stomach. Well, it's because you drank way too much on an empty stomach. However, if you want to drink less alcohol and you want to buzz, drink it on an empty stomach. I'm not telling anybody to do that. I'm just telling you that's what I do. What I do is, I'm not going to drink it otherwise. Here's the problem with alcohol, is that when you eat food and you're drinking, it takes forever for the alcohol to get into your blood because the food's blocking it. It's going slowly into it. So it's coming together, right? And then you keep drinking because you don't have the buzz yet. Next thing you know, you're fucked up, okay? Because now it's hitting you. Yeah. So food slows it down, but yet you're drinking more because you're not high yet, and then boom, it goes. So for me, I just get that early buzz, drink on a little bit of an empty stomach, and then when I eat, I'm done. Eat shuts me off. I might have an after dinner drink just to be drinking with everybody else, like a Drambuie or a Cavossier or something. I might do that at the end to have that with everybody, but I'm done before I eat. And eat shuts me off. So there's a little secret for everybody. If you want to do a really less expensive amount on an empty stomach, I'm not advising that because most people can't handle it. I'm just an experienced drinker.
Yep.
Even though I never drank as an athlete, I just made up for lost time.
Well, I think that's what we got for today. Hopefully, this gives you the confidence to move through the holidays and to enjoy yourself. Okay,
Yes.
So this is about how to, don't take this as bona fide weight loss advice. This is how, if you're a person that's conscious about moving forward through the holidays, this is how you can enjoy yourself and manage your weight at the same time. However, whatever your goal is, to continue losing or to maintain. If you're somebody that is like compromised with your weight loss, this is probably not the advice you want to be following, right? Like if you're somebody that's struggled your whole life with weight loss, this is for people that, have their, themselves in check and have a good hold on their mental. So this is more about being fun and how people that are in shape like to move through the holidays and manage their weight when they know they're going to be blowing off their diet. So it's about enjoying yourself. You got one life to live. So we understand about staying in shape and wanting to be in shape, but we also know how to have fun. So that's what it's about.
That's right. And at the end of the day, everything's about moderation. And this is, hopefully I got that message across here. You can do it. There's all kinds of ways that you can cheat and win when it comes to maintaining your body composition, maintaining your faculties, and going right back to everything after holidays. But to your point, have fun.
Yeah.
Let go, and just make it happen.
Yeah. So, a bunch of episodes will be like this, just more fun, laid back, right? And then we'll get back to, the hard bona fide nutrition and fitness content.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Happy holidays. See you in the next one. Bye.